Hello, my name is Gray and welcome back to another episode of Unorthoblocks. In the last episode we built up this awesome little recording studio, which I really loved the design. It was a step away from our sort of norm. If we sort of go inside, we can see the layout. I've not really made any changes yet. Really cool watching the light come through. I miss shaders so much. I do have a bunch of music discs now. None of these are for sale yet. I need to organise them into their rightful chests and do all of that sort of stuff. However, we're not actually producing these quickly enough. The farm I made is too small, and I don't really want to open this up until I've got at least one of every disc. So yeah, we're still waiting on that. So coming through into our actual little recording studio, I have set up a little note block thing, and I decided to go for a meme song rather than anything else. So it's Megalovania, and it sounds like this. And I think I did a pretty good job of that one. It took a little while, just fine-tuning all of the note blocks and that and getting the timing right. I think I've got a little bit of the timing wrong at the end there, but for what it's worth, I think it sounds fine. Sick. So, one thing that was pointed out to me was that I am not the only person on this server with a recording studio, and it actually turns out that they're both in a fairly similar style. This wasn't by design. This was just, we'll call it a Bob Ross moment, a happy little accident. So let's come and check it out real quick. I believe I have looked at this in a previous episode, but that was quite a long time ago. So that nerd built a studio as his actual starter base. Now you can see some major differences in the build, but there is actually a fairly similar block palette going on in the stone bricks and the slabs, and you know, they're both fairly similar looking builds. So yeah, we'll just poke our heads in real quick because I can't really remember. Personal audio recording studio, there you go. It's got like a little booth in here with a mic. This is actually a really neat design. Yeah, he's done a pretty decent job in here. I actually really love the way that looks, and creating a little isolation booth. Yeah, no, that's cool. That is cool. I think this is just like... Is that a camera? You know what, this place is actually really awesome. I should come and nose through people's bases a little bit more often, I think. And then back here... yeah, it's like another little vocal booth. I actually really love how tight-knit this build is put together. It's really good. And then we just got like a little seat to watch the world go by. No, this is such an awesome little build, and it's nice and tight knit. But as I say, it wasn't an intentional copy. What I was building was literally based off of the recording studio that I used in college. So yeah, it's just a bit weird that they both come out actually looking a little bit similar. Anyway, moving on. So I think today what I want to do is make a proper start getting some more of this base done now, because it's been a long time since we've worked on it and we don't really have a main base to call our own just yet. We've got a lot of work that we're going to need to do, and I'm kind of toying around with the idea of creating some TNT dupers and destroying the life out of all of this. That could be the play. I don't remember putting this portal here. Anyway, yeah, I think that could be the play. Maybe. because this is going to be a lot of digging. Or maybe we could just make normal TNT and just blow the hell out of it anyway. I am going to think about that, but what I want to be doing is probably sleeping in a second. Hopefully Mighty will do it for us. Well, maybe Mighty will do it for us. Oh, that actually looks really cool like that. That looks like I'm going to do it. So let's land on the bridge, which we still need to set this up as a proper bridge. So what I want to do from here is actually bring a stairway up. So again, I'm thinking very Lord of the Ringsy here. So if you remember the Mines of Moria, obviously the entryway wasn't half as big as this, but when they got through the door, there was a staircase that started going upwards. So I kind of want to do that. So we're going to have a staircase that's going to come up. How far back do we want it to go? Let's just use this polished andesite. Probably, in fact, probably all the way to the end of here is going to be about right. So that would mean probably a bit of a slower curve up. Hey look, there's an ender chest up here. I leave stuff all over the place on this server. I'm probably one of the messiest players of this game. Yes, so that probably means that it's going to come out up to around about this height, which is kind of perfect because it means that, you know, it would explain how they get up on the battlements and all of that sort of good stuff, because this little bit down the bottom there is almost like just a decoration piece, whereas up here is much more of a battlements area, a little bit more fortified and all of that. Plus we've then got the arrow slits that absolutely no dwarf is ever going to see out of, but you know, they're there because they look the part. So yeah, I think that is the idea. But do we need to blow everything up first, or do we just remove stuff as we go? The issue I'm kind of having with this is if I blow it all up, then chances of me getting all the resources are very, very slim, and I am going to need a lot of resources for this build. Or I could spend the time digging it all out, but that means I'm going to have to spend the time digging it all out. And this is going to be a fairly large area where I could just carpet bomb the whole thing down to bedrock. Let's see where we go with this one. So I think before I spend way too much time just thinking about all of this, I should just start getting a bit of work done here. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to do the sort of stairs now. And I am thinking that every sort of 5 steps up, we're going to have like a rest area. So I'm probably going to go ahead and get most of this done now. So yeah, we can take a look at it when it's all done. Right, so the basic stair design is in now. It literally goes up in increments of 5. So 5 stairs, 5 flat, 5 stairs, 5 flat, 5 stairs, 5 flat, 5 stairs, 5 flat. And that brings us actually up perfectly to this height to get us onto the top level, which I didn't know it was going to do that. So that's a spot of luck right there. Got really, really lucky with that planning. But now we need to sort of detail all of this out. We've done a load of texture variations, so we've got just stone and andesite, and you know, I've tried to mix it up as best I could whilst keeping it looking a bit more interesting. Oh, these guys, I didn't realise they sell player heads now, so yeah, I'm gonna definitely be trying to get all of them and stuff like this as well. The little miniature blocks, that's pretty cool. I still kind of hate him though, so he can die. So yeah, I need to do a bit more work, and I want to add like some sort of supporting structure. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do it, but basically on all of the flats we've got a 5 wide space, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means we can add a supporting structure in here. and I'm thinking that we could even have it jut out just a little bit into the path, because at the moment the path is 2, 4, 6, 7 wide. So even if we just cut off like one block on either side, just a little bit, it's still going to be a 5 by 5 route up the stairs, so it's not really going to cut too much space off. So that's something that we could do. And then coming along where the actual stair edges are, I actually kind of want to bring it up so this almost looks like the inside of a cave still, so it's not like perfectly pristine or any of that sort of stuff. And this would carry on all of the way up with the sort of supporting beams supporting basically, but I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to do that, because this is going to look very, very stone. Unless I do it like really, really high, that could wind up looking pretty good. And then as we sort of come up a little bit more, so yeah, these lower sections could be like pretty cave-like, and as we come up, probably on about this level, it will start turning into a more stone bricky type thing. Potentially could work. I'm going to toy around with a few ideas down the bottom though, and we'll see if we can get that looking right first. So I've been working on this for a good few hours now, and I think I'm finally really happy with the way that this is looking. So yeah, let's have a little bit of a look through. I decided not to go for the beaten down look, is mainly because I realised this doorway was so huge that I'd just be building for ages and ages to try and get it to look right. And I think with the doorway being this huge anyway, it makes more sense that the insides here would be set up properly. So yeah, let's come on through. I do need to do a little bit of texture variation down here and get rid of this diorite here, but once that's gone, this area should look perfect. So the first little inlay, well actually we should probably start here. So essentially I've just copied the pattern round from the corner there to begin with, and I've added some redstone lamps in just to add a little bit of interest to the build rather than leaving it so flat. I decided to leave these edges looking a bit flatter. I might need to go up there and break up the texture a little bit just to make it look a little bit better as well, but with the entire scale of the whole thing as a whole, leaving it like that might actually just be fine. So like you can see at the backs there, I've left that stone brick untextured, if I could speak properly. Yeah, and I think that looks fine. So, you know, we could easily get away with it. But anyway, coming on through, on the stairs here, we've got just stair blocks here in the wall instead, and I've opened it out so you can see glowstone behind it, because again, this is going to help light the build up, and it just gives us another point of interest to the build. We've got these andesite walls acting out as like a little hammer. It doesn't look great, but it's basically just there to remind me that I do want something there, so I don't know whether I'm going to keep that. It's the same on all sides. So you can see in the corner we're using gold blocks as a decoration block here, because we are building a dwarven mine. So yeah, they're fancy boys and they like their gold. But yeah, it's just pretty much more of the same as what's going on the outside. We got upright stair, upside down stair, trapdoor, stair thing again, cobblestone wall stairs, cobblestone wall stairs, and then it comes into a point, and on the roof you can't really see it there, so we'll look here. I've got some andesite walls just making a bit of a plus sign, and andesite walls just running along the edges. And yeah, basically it follows the same pattern, getting shorter and shorter all the way up until we get to this very top point where we've only got 3 high, but we're not going to be building any lower than that. So yeah, this is basically going to be the lowest point. I'm going to extend all of this out and around, because this is going to be the floor height for the next level. I don't really have anything to build it with, but basically all of this is going to come around here, We're just going to get like a little bit in there. And then that should be fine. So we're actually going to have to cut these stairs back a little bit. Because in spite of what I thought initially, we are actually a couple of blocks out. But that's fine. So yeah, I think that pretty much sums up everything we've done here. Doesn't really look like it's taken a long time, but because there's so many layers to every wall, it does wind up taking quite a while. And unfortunately as well, that is going to bring us to the end of this episode. So there's a few things that I really need to get sorted out. Somehow I need to get a far better music disc farm, and we will get there. But there's one more thing I wanted to mention to you guys. Down in the description below, we have a link to a sort of fan Discord server. So if you are a fan of the series and you're a fan of the Unorthoblocks SMP, then we have a fan Discord server that you can join, chat away, share any content that you're releasing on there as well for other people to see. And yeah, basically it's just there to be a family friendly, and that's really important. It is family friendly community where people can sort of talk to each other and get to know each other. You can ask questions to any of the other builders, which of course all of their links are down below as well. But yeah, join if you feel like it. I think it's a really good opportunity for everyone to sort of get to know each other and that. At any rate, have a good day. I'll catch you next time.